For question 2, we've got this question, 1 2/3 squared. Now it's good to look at these questions and figure out what it is you're being tested on. We're being tested first of all on, do you know what it means to square a number? Then you're being tested on whether you can square this particular number as it is, or whether you have to do something to it. And as you can see from what I've done here, which we're going to go through now, you have to do something to it before you can square it. And so then finally, you're being tested on whether or not you can leave that number as it is, or what form the answer is required in, because this is a multi-choice thing as well. You've got a choice of 4 different answers. So first of all, to square a number means that you have to multiply it by itself. We can't do that as it stands. If you're not sure why, then I would suggest you go and look at the video about multiplying fractions. And one of those videos is about multiplying mixed fractions together. And that goes into more detail as to why we have to change it to what we call an improper fraction, sometimes known as top-heavy. So we change this fraction, this mixed number and this mixed fraction, to a top-heavy one by recognising that what we've got here is 1 whole 1 plus 2/3. And therefore we can change the 1 whole 1 into a fraction by calling it 3 divided by 3, 3/3. And we can add the 2/3 in it and get 5/3. Now we're in a position to be able to multiply it. So now we can say, okay, really what we're saying here, in fact, I'm going to rub this out so that I can write that again at the top so that we don't run out of room. So that's, once we've changed it, that becomes 5/3 all squared. Now really what we're saying here is 5/3. Let me just rub that out so I can put the multiplication sign in, times 5/3. That's really what we're saying there. And so we know that to multiply fractions, do you remember what to do? Have a think, pause this video. If you can't remember, even go and look it up so that you can get ahead. And that's quite a useful revision thing to do, to stop the video and then see, okay, what do I do here? Let's go and look it up, come back and do it. Okay, so 5 times 5 is 25, 3 times 3 is 9. That's how we multiply fractions, remember. Multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. Now we can see that the answers we've got here, which the answers are 1 4/9, or 3 1/3, 2 4/9, or 2 7/9. So we've got to figure out which of those it is. So we have to, so each of those possible answers are in a mixed number format. So we have to change this back to a mixed number. We can do that by saying, remember, this is effectively a division sign. So we say, okay, 9 into 25, when we know that 2 9s are 18. So we put 2 because it won't go in any more than 2, not without, without falling short. So how many have we got left over? Well, we've got 2, and 18 from 25 is 7. So we have 2 7/9. And that's our answer, and that's the answer that you circle. And that's the final answer of the possible answers given. So let's just recap. You're being tested on, first of all, do you know what it means to square a number? Second of all, do you know that you have to change the mixed number to an improper fraction before you can square it? Third, do you know that once you've squared it, you have to then change it back to a mixed number? So 3 things you're being tested on, and each of those things are separate, in a sense, separate calculations, aren't they? First of all, squaring, changing the number, changing it back. And of course, for all of those things, you need to be really, really on the ball with your times tables. So it's really worth getting to know those times tables.